still riding the bike in this cold?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not, I'm staying strong. So plan is to do that forever. So I'm not going to let weather be a factor.
What's it like watching film of a bunch of players that you know? I mean, not know, but like really know.
Sure. You know, it's weird. I think, you know, in this league, when you go from team to team, you know, more than likely you play that team, whether it be, you know, the following year or years or whatever. But, you know, I was in LA for 4 years and know all those guys very well. You know, was there with a lot of them. You know, went to a Super Bowl with that team, drafted a bunch of those guys. You know, recruited a bunch of those guys in free agency, things like that. So a lot of personal relationships with not only staff members but players as well. So it was weird, but it's exciting. You know, Sean's like a brother to me, so it will be. We spent 6 years together, you know, because we were together 2 years in Washington before the 4 years in LA. So it will. You know, probably the biggest thing is obviously Stafford being there. You know, that's probably the biggest difference in just you know, watching them and seeing them. But you know, the Whitworths and the guys like that, Aaron Donald and guys like that, it will be definitely weird to see.
That's what I was going to ask you, is just knowing that scheme the way you do, how much does having someone with Stafford's arm talent in the middle of everything, how much does that change what they do with their offense and what they're capable of doing?
Oh yeah, I mean they're totally different. But you know, Jarrett and Matt are completely different. You know, quarterbacks, Matthew. So they're, you know, but they're still. It's still obviously Sean calling plays. You know, so the principles and the concepts are very similar, but you know, the trigger man is different, so then it's going to have a completely different feel and different mindset. You know, Jarrett was much more, you know, play action. You know, Matthew's a little bit more drop back, but the similarities you still see them just because, you know, Sean's still there and obviously one of the best in the business.
So what were your guys like this week, just coming off of obviously a day that didn't go the way they wanted to, and how have you seen them, you know, kind of go about getting ready for
it was, you know, we're in Friday now, and we really did have a great week. But you know, the way Matt operates is that, you know, when we win, we have Victory Monday, so we usually don't see him till Wednesday. So it was the first time in quite a while that we had seen our players on a Monday. And they were, you know, they were kind of how I expected them to be. They were, I think they were pissed off, you know, which was good. We all were, because that was, and you know, I give credit to the Vikings. They did a great job. They had a great plan. They made plays and we didn't. And the guys came in and they were. I don't want to say in the tank. I think, you know, hopefully I don't offend people when I say they were pissed off. They were upset. So we watched the tape, we learned from it, and we moved on. And I tell you what, the guys came in. We've had a great Wednesday. Had a great practice yesterday on Thanksgiving. Altered the schedule a little bit. Got everything we normally do on a Thursday. Just got them in here a little bit earlier to get them out a little bit earlier. And then came in today and had a phenomenal Friday. So it was, but you know, I think their mindset and how they felt is probably how, you know, you would guess. But it was that was it. I don't like that, but it was good to see those guys that they were upset, you know, because I think they were. And we all were. I mean, as coaching staff and players, I think, you know, we would have liked to get out of there with a different result. But they were better than us on last Sunday, and we, like I said, it was a tough day, but it was a good day in the sense that we went through it, we made the corrections that we needed to correct, and we moved on, and then followed it up with a phenomenal 3 days this week. So we're in a good place now.
You talked about your affinity for Sean. Matt was saying that, like, he had an experience where they were playing game against Kyle when he was in LA with you, and he went and talked to the defensive staff, trying to give them some insights, and then they like hung 30 on you. How do you find the line for, hey, I've got a lot of insights, I'd love to try and help the cause here, but also, you know, being careful that maybe things are vastly different than what you think you know, despite all that knowledge?
Yeah, you know, bottom line, you still have to, you know, you have to follow your weekly process. You have to prepare, and then you got to go play the game. You know, I know Sean. Sean knows me. You know, it happens all the time when coaches move, when players move, whatever. There's familiarities with systems, you know, throughout this whole league. You know, bottom line, when the ball snapped, you got to go execute, and you got to, you know, offense tries to make plays, and we try to limit them from making plays. So I think a lot of times those things get a little overblown. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. As I mentioned, you know, Sean and I spent 6 years together, you know, in two different places. So, but bottom line, it's about, you know, your weekly rhythm, your process, your preparation, which, as I alluded to earlier, you know, I think we had 3 phenomenal days on Wednesday, yesterday, and today, and we'll get one more day tomorrow, and then when the ball snapped, we got to go make plays.
What's the challenge with Cooper? He's a small school guy. He's not like super big. He's not super fast, but he's obviously super productive.
Another guy that I have, you know, he is one of my all-time favorites. You know, I'm getting goosebumps talking about him just because you can say all those things. You know, Eastern Washington. You know, if he runs a 40, he's going to run what he runs, but he's not going to enamor you with that. But you know, if you just look at this year, if you look at the 9 games this year, the stats that he has right now are unbelievable. You know, 85 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, that's a season to most wideouts. That'd be a hell of a season for most wideouts, and you know, he's 9 games in. But you really don't appreciate Cooper Kupp until you're around him. And like I said, he was part of our first draft class when we got there, and we even, as the defensive guys, were kind of like, God, we took this dude from Eastern Washington in the 3rd round. Come on, what are we doing? But then when you're around this guy, I'm talking as a rookie for a week, you saw what he's all about. You saw how he's wired. He is just, you know, he's one of those guys. You hear it, and it's not cliche with this kid. He literally is the first person in the building and the last person to leave. And I could still remember nights on Tuesdays and Wednesdays where it's 8 o'clock at night, and I might walk down to the cafeteria and I, you know, see someone in a meeting room, and I open the door, and Cooper's just in there watching tape. So, so when you're around him and you see him, and it's every single day. Doesn't matter if it's OTAs, training camp, you know, obviously game week. He prepares like that. So he gets every ounce out of, you know, what God gave him and more, just because of the way he prepares. So hell of a kid. I mean, unbelievable father, unbelievable husband, and unbelievable player. So he's definitely something to deal with. So. You know, I really look forward to competing against him.
Joe, I realized last week didn't go the way you wanted it to, but your safeties have been really good all year.
Yeah.
How vital, I'm sure Darnell wishes he got credit for the interception,
Sure.
Everything's different then, but how vital has both of their levels of play been to your success defensively?
Yeah, no, I'll continue to, you know, I've bragged on them all year, and deservingly so. You know, I think not only their play, but their leadership, their, you know, I say it every time I'm up here with you guys. Their, you know, consistency's big with me, and those guys are consistent every single day. You know exactly what you're going to get, and you know, consistency is the truest measure of performance. And you know, I mean, Darnell had a legit chance for 4 picks last week. You know, so. You know, but I think, those two guys have been not only vital to our, to the DB room, but to our defense, to our team, and not just what they do on the football field, what they do on the practice field, what they do in the meeting room. I've told you before what they do with the, and Darnell's not an old guy, but he's such a great veteran for us. And then obviously Adrian, he's, he really is our veteran leader at the, ripe old age of 29 or whatever he is. But those guys have been phenomenal for us. They've been rocks.